In the NBA, you have to pretend that Bronny's an NBA player because otherwise you'll upset the king. And remember, he is a 6'2" guard that's a non-point guard. I've never seen that existing in the current NBA. And go back 20 years. He is 1 for 16 in the NBA from the floor, 0 for 7 on threes. He's not an NBA player. He was not a great high school player. He was a good high school player. He wasn't a good college player. He was a college player.
One and done.
I don't want to be a hater, but I think after LeBron leaves, he'll be done there.
The Lakers thought they could control the noise. That's the crazy part. They believed they could slowly develop Bronny James, protect him from pressure, and let him grow naturally while still competing in the biggest basketball market on the planet. But now the conversation has completely changed because Bronny James getting benched again has fans asking one brutal question. Are the Lakers already panicking? The internet exploded the second people noticed his reduced minutes and inconsistent role. Every sports page started pushing the same narrative. Maybe the Lakers are realizing this experiment is becoming harder to manage than they expected. And once that idea starts spreading online, it takes on a life of its own. What makes the situation so intense is that Bronny isn't being treated like a normal rookie. Most young players can disappear into the background while they develop. They can make mistakes quietly, struggle through bad stretches, and learn without every possession becoming national content. Bronny doesn't get that luxury because his last name changes everything. Every missed shot trends. Every benching becomes a headline. Every coaching decision gets analyzed like it's part of some giant conspiracy involving LeBron James, the Lakers front office, and the future of the franchise itself.
Give me what do you think his career is going to look like in the NBA?
One and done.
The moment reports and clips started circulating about Bronny spending more time on the bench again, fans immediately split into two sides. One side argued the Lakers were finally being realistic and trying to develop him slowly instead of forcing minutes. The other side believed the organization was quietly losing confidence already. And honestly, that second narrative is the one that gained momentum online, because sports culture loves panic. The internet doesn't reward patience, it rewards overreactions. If a rookie struggles for 2 games, people already start throwing around words like bust. That's the environment Bronny walked into before even playing meaningful NBA basketball. The Lakers organization tried to frame everything as part of a long-term development plan. Coaches talked about learning systems, adjusting to NBA speed, and earning minutes naturally. But fans weren't buying the calm explanation. The second Bronny's role started shrinking again, social media instantly treated it like proof that the Lakers were worried behind the scenes. Suddenly, every clip of him sitting on the bench became evidence. Every rotation change became a talking point. And once ESPN debates, YouTube channels, and NBA Twitter grab onto a narrative, it spreads fast.
He did another video where he called Bronny James the worst player in the history of the world, worst in history of the NBA, right?
Here's the part nobody is talking about. The pressure on Bronny James might actually be impossible for any young player to handle perfectly. Think about it. He's not only trying to survive the NBA as a rookie, he's trying to survive while being compared to LeBron James every second of every day. That's not normal pressure. That's psychological warfare. Fans aren't judging him against other second-round picks. They're judging him against one of the greatest players in basketball history because of his last name. No rookie survives that environment comfortably. And this is exactly why the Lakers are in such a difficult position. If they play Bronny heavy minutes and he struggles, critics accuse them of favoritism and publicity stunts. If they bench him or reduce his role, critics say the organization has lost confidence and is panicking. It's basically a no-win situation. Every decision becomes controversial because the basketball world already made Bronny a symbol instead of just a player. Some fans want him to succeed because they love LeBron. Others want him to fail because they're tired of the media attention surrounding the James family. That emotional divide changes how every moment gets interpreted.
He didn't play well.
The numbers themselves also started fueling the debate. Analysts began pointing out Bronny's inconsistent offensive production, limited scoring opportunities, and struggles adjusting to NBA pace. Critics used those stats as proof he wasn't ready. Supporters pushed back by reminding everyone that most rookies struggle early, especially young guards adjusting to professional defenses. But again, Bronny isn't allowed normal rookie struggles. A bad shooting night for another young player barely gets noticed. A bad Bronny performance becomes front-page sports content within minutes. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They start forcing everything because they hear the criticism too loudly. Instead of letting the game come naturally, they try to prove everybody wrong immediately. They rush shots, overthink simple plays, and stop trusting their instincts. That's how confidence disappears. The NBA graveyard is filled with talented prospects who collapsed mentally under unrealistic expectations. And Bronny's expectations are unlike anything we've seen for a player projected as a developmental prospect. What's really fascinating is how quickly fans connected this situation back to LeBron himself. The second Bronny's minutes started disappearing again, people immediately began questioning whether LeBron pushed too hard for this moment. Some critics argued the Lakers drafted Bronny mainly to keep LeBron happy. Others defended the move by pointing out Bronny still earned his opportunity through years of high-level basketball and relentless scrutiny. But regardless of which side people took, the pressure around the James family only intensified. The Lakers probably expected media attention when they brought Bronny in. What they may not have expected was how emotional every discussion would become. Because this isn't just basketball anymore. It's legacy, it's family, it's power. It's modern sports culture turning every roster decision into entertainment. Fans don't even watch patiently anymore. They watch waiting for either validation or failure. That's why Bronny getting benched again immediately triggered panic narratives. At the same time, there's another uncomfortable truth here. Development in the NBA usually requires patience, but patience barely exists in Los Angeles. The Lakers aren't a rebuilding franchise where young players can quietly grow over 3 years. This is a championship-focused organization with LeBron James still chasing titles late in his career. Every game matters, every rotation decision matters. Coaches don't have the luxury of experimenting forever. That creates even more pressure around Bronny because people aren't evaluating him in isolation. They're evaluating him inside a championship environment. The internet also started comparing Bronny to other young players around the league, which only made the situation worse. Fans pointed at rookies getting bigger opportunities and asked why Bronny wasn't earning the same trust. Critics used highlight clips from other prospects as evidence that Bronny didn't belong. But context always disappears online. Other young players aren't carrying the same media circus. Other rookies don't walk into arenas with cameras tracking every reaction from LeBron James after every possession. This is where it gets dangerous, because once sports media senses weakness in a narrative, they keep attacking it nonstop. Debate shows don't want balance, they want engagement. Bronny James guarantees engagement. LeBron James guarantees engagement. The Lakers guarantee engagement. Put all three together and every small development suddenly becomes a national controversy. That's exactly what happened with the benching discussions. Instead of seeing normal rookie development, people started seeing signs of organizational panic. One thing that made the reaction even louder was the silence from Bronny himself. He didn't start responding emotionally online. He didn't fire back at critics. He mostly stayed quiet and kept working. Ironically, that silence made fans speculate even more. People started projecting their own opinions on him. Some thought he looked frustrated. Others claimed he looked mentally exhausted. Social media became a giant detective board analyzing body language clips from the bench. LeBron's presence makes everything heavier too. Imagine trying to establish your own NBA identity while your father is one of the most famous athletes on earth sitting nearby every game. Every performance immediately becomes connected to him. If Bronny succeeds, people credit LeBron's influence. If Bronny struggles, critics blame LeBron for creating unrealistic expectations. There's almost no room for Bronny to simply exist as a normal young player. What's interesting is that many former NBA players actually defended the Lakers' decision to limit Bronny's role. Veterans understand how hard the transition to professional basketball can be. They know confidence matters. They know throwing a young player into overwhelming pressure too early can destroy development. But online culture doesn't think long-term anymore. Fans want immediate answers. If a rookie struggles, people instantly assume something is wrong behind the scenes. The benching narrative also reopened the nepotism conversation all over again. Critics argued Bronny only got opportunities because of his last name. Supporters responded by saying sports history has always included family connections, and that Bronny still has to prove himself like everyone else. The uncomfortable truth is that both sides contain some reality. LeBron's influence absolutely created opportunities, but opportunity doesn't guarantee success. The NBA is ruthless. Players either survive or disappear eventually. Another layer that made this situation explode was the Lakers' own history with young talent. Fans immediately started bringing up previous prospects who struggled under the pressure of Los Angeles. Some argued the franchise has never been patient with development. Others believe the spotlight itself ruins confidence for younger players. Once Bronny's minutes dropped again, those old conversations came back instantly. The scary part for the Lakers is that every move now looks political. If Bronny plays more, critics say it's because of LeBron. If Bronny sits, critics say the organization regrets the decision. There's almost no neutral interpretation anymore. That's the danger of becoming the biggest story in sports before establishing yourself as a player. And honestly, social media made the situation 10 times worse. Years ago, young players can struggle without millions of people reacting in real time. Today, every missed shot becomes a meme within seconds. Every facial expression gets turned into content. That changes athletes mentally whether fans want to admit it or not. Bronny entered the NBA during an era where criticism never sleeps. What's even more fascinating is how divided Lakers fans themselves became. Some fans argued Bronny should spend more time developing away from the spotlight entirely. Others believed benching him too often would damage his confidence permanently. And then there were fans convinced the Lakers were trapped by politics and couldn't handle the pressure surrounding the James family anymore. The larger legacy angle makes this story impossible to ignore.
LeBron spent years publicly talking about wanting to share the NBA with his son. It became one of the defining emotional storylines of his late career. The moment finally arrived, but reality hit harder than the fantasy. Because history sounds beautiful until actual games begin and real expectations appear. The NBA doesn't care about sentimental stories. It cares about production. Bronny's situation also says a lot about modern basketball culture. Fans claim they want young players to develop naturally, but the second a rookie struggles, they attack relentlessly. There's almost no patience left. Everything becomes extreme immediately. Either someone is the future of the league or already a disappointment. Bronny entered one of the most emotionally charged situations imaginable at the worst possible time for athlete development. And maybe that's why the Lakers look nervous to fans right now. Not necessarily because they've given up on Bronny, but because they understand how explosive every decision has become. Every rotation adjustment creates headlines. Every minute restriction creates debate shows. The organization isn't just managing basketball anymore. They're managing a nonstop media storm. Another thing people forget is that Bronny is still incredibly young. Most players his age are quietly learning in smaller roles without national pressure. Bronny is doing it while carrying one of the biggest names in sports history. That changes the emotional weight of every game. Confidence becomes harder to maintain when the entire internet is waiting to judge your next performance. At the same time, critics would argue pressure comes with privilege. They'd say Bronny knew exactly what he was signing up for by joining the Lakers and pursuing this path publicly. And honestly, there's truth there too. The spotlight was never going to disappear. Playing alongside LeBron guaranteed that. But understanding pressure intellectually and actually living through it are completely different experiences. The craziest part is that one strong stretch of games could completely flip the narrative again. That's how fast modern sports conversations move. If Bronny suddenly plays well for 2 weeks, the same people calling the Lakers panic today might start praising the organization for patient development. Narratives online change instantly depending on recent results. Still, the fear around the Lakers situation feels real, because championship teams rarely have time for emotional experiments. LeBron's career window is closing. Expectations in Los Angeles are always massive. And when a young player becomes the center of nonstop controversy, organizations naturally start thinking about damage control. What makes this story feel bigger than basketball is how symbolic Bronny has become already. He represents legacy, family pressure, privilege, expectations, and modern sports media all at once. That's an impossible amount of weight for any young athlete to carry comfortably. And now every benching adds another layer to the conversation. The debate also exposed how differently fans view development depending on the player involved. If Bronny were another anonymous rookie guard, nobody would care about inconsistent minutes this early. But because his father is LeBron James and because he plays for the Lakers, every normal developmental step becomes breaking news. And that's why the panic narrative keeps growing. Fans aren't just reacting to basketball decisions anymore. They're reacting to what those decisions represent. Reduced minutes suddenly become signs of organizational fear. Quiet stretches become evidence of regret. The story becomes larger than reality itself. Years from now, people might look back at this entire period completely differently depending on how Bronny's career unfolds. If he develops into a reliable NBA player, critics will look reactionary and impatient. If he struggles long-term, people will point back to these benching moments as early warning signs. That's how sports history always works. Results rewrite everything. But right now, the debate feels louder than ever because nobody truly knows what Bronny James will become yet. And maybe that uncertainty is exactly why fans are so obsessed with every Lakers decision. Some people believe the organization is wisely protecting a young player from overwhelming pressure. Others believe the Lakers are already panicking because reality isn't matching the dream. Either way, one thing is obvious. Bronny James isn't getting treated like a normal rookie, and probably never will. Every minute, every mistake, every benching, and every headline will keep getting analyzed through the lens of LeBron's legacy and the Lakers' expectations. And if the pressure already feels this intense now, imagine what happens if the struggles continue deeper into the season. Because then the conversation stops being about development entirely. Then it becomes a brutal question nobody inside the organization wants to answer publicly. Did the Lakers create a story bigger than basketball itself?